Now then, folks, and Ryan, you're going to especially appreciate this. That was supposed to be the last video. But I noticed something, a headline, while I was reading that last story, and that's why I kind of fluttered a little bit. And I think I'm going to talk about this now. This is kind of going to be like a live reaction, if you will, to a certain extent. But apparently AMC Theaters has struck a historic deal with Universal, shortening number of days films need to run in theaters before going digital. This broke 3 minutes ago. So let's look at this. The feud between AMC Theaters and Universal Pictures, which started over the video-on-demand release of Trolls World Tour in March, is over. On Tuesday, the two companies announced an agreement that would see AMC show Universal films on the big screen once more and grant Universal a smaller theatrical window so it could make its titles available on demand sooner. As part of the deal, Universal and Focus Features must play movies in cinemas for at least 3 weekends or 17 days before releasing those films on premium video on demand platforms. That is short. That is extremely short. Typically, theaters would have the exclusive rights to films for 90 days. Quote, "The theatrical experience continues to be the cornerstone of our business," Donna Langley, chairman of Universal Films Entertainment Group, in a statement Tuesday. "The partnership we formed with AMC is driven by our collective desire to ensure a thriving future for the film distribution ecosystem and to meet consumer demand with flexibility and optionality." The quarrel between AMC and Universal started in March. Due to growing concerns over the coronavirus pandemic, Universal released Trolls World Tour in theaters and on demand on the same day. In April, NBC Universal CEO Jeff Shell touted the digital success of the film and suggested the company would do more simultaneous release in the future. Movie theaters operate best when they have exclusive access to blockbuster films. Exhibitors were already feeling antagonized by the initial Trolls release and the fact that their theaters had recently been shuttered. This led AMC to announcing it would no longer showcase Universal film slate at its more than 1,000 locations. After prolonged theater closures in the U.S., the result of rising coronavirus cases and the constant push of Hollywood blockbusters from the release calendar, AMC's stance has softened and it was able to strike a deal with Universal. And this is what Adam Aaron said of AMC. "AMC enthusiastically embraces this new industry model both because we are participating in the entirety of the economics of the new structure and because premium video on-demand services creates the added potential for increased movie studio profitability, which should in turn lead to greenlighting of more theatrical movies." Neither company disclosed the full terms of the deal, stating that it was confidential. Now then. Okay, my first reaction to this is that I don't like this. I think this sets a very, very bad precedent. This seems very much like a cutting off your nose to spite your face sort of thing. But as I'm thinking about reading this, I'm thinking about it, the fact that not all the terms were disclosed, I think that speaks volumes. So let me tell you what I'm talking about. So their new deal is that they have to play for at least 3 weekends and 17 days. And in all fairness, 3 weekends is pretty much what a film is going to do before it's knocked off the top 10. If it's a big film, something tells me Universal would wait longer, and then they would want to do a premium on-demand thing. But here's what I think is going on. I think, because there's a comment here, let me go back to this real quick and show you what the comment is that stands out. They enthusiastically embrace this new industry model because we are participating in the entirety of the economics of the new structure. So what does that mean? Well, I don't know for sure, but I think it has a lot to do with this. Stop. I believe it has something to do with their on-demand. AMC Theaters does have an on-demand platform, a digital platform. You can rent movies, You can buy digital movies. They have sales. So AMC has kind of been dipping their toe into the digital sphere for a while. Now, here's what I think is going to happen, if I'm being perfectly honest. And let's take Wonder Woman, for example. I know Wonder Woman is not a Universal film, but let's pretend it is for a moment. So Wonder Woman plays at AMC theaters for 3 weekends at least. That's when it's going to make its most money. Now let's say it's super popular and Universal decides to leave it as a movie theater exclusive for 1 more week, maybe 2 more weeks, okay. But then I think for the next month or so, you can buy Wonder Woman digitally on AMC On Demand exclusively. Think about this. They might just do this. And in fact, they might even have now a synergy. Let's say you're an AMC Stubs member now. You can use your AMC Stubs to still see the movie in theaters if you want. And hey, while you're seeing it in theaters, if you buy it on our on-demand platform, you'll save 50%. So the digital copy of Wonder Woman will now cost you $10. And this might be, this would really benefit AMC in the long run if you stop and think about it. Because the other theaters have not made this deal with Universal. So they don't have their own digital platforms, which means probably for the first 90 days, like 60 of the 90 days initial thing that goes on, I think AMC On Demand will be the exclusive for these Universal movies. So yes, after 4 weeks, the next Fast and Furious movie will come to a streaming site, but it will only come to AMC On Demand. And it will be that way for the next 2 months. And then after, so for those 2 months, those, that movie is still playing in movie theaters at the other places, but you can only get it on AMC On Demand. This might be really good for AMC and Universal. Now, the one question I have about this is how are the other theaters going to react? Because Regal and Cinemark have reiterated they will not show movies that violate the 90-day window. Regal and Cinemark might now not show Universal movies, which at this point, then AMC truly has a monopoly on Jurassic World, the Fast and the Furious, the Despicable Me movies, and they are the biggest chain. They are the biggest chain. So I think that there has to be more to this. Because a 17-day exclusive window, 17-day to 3 week, that is suicide. If people know that, hey, in 17 days I can just buy this at home, there's no way that AMC benefits from this deal. Unless the only place you can get that digital premium video on demand release is AMC Stubs On Demand. And look, it doesn't cost anything to sign up for AMC On Demand. People would sign up for AMC On Demand just to have some of those premium video on demand services. I also, by the way, want to add that I think AMC will probably do this more for mid-tier movies. I do believe that with Jurassic World, the 90 days is going to be observed. It's just too big of a movie to say, okay, 2 weeks and then send that straight to digital. No, I don't think that's going to happen. But I think this AMC On Demand might be what prompted this deal right here. We are participating in the entirety of the economics of the new structure. I think that means that a lot of these movies are going to be exclusive to AMC On Demand. But what's also interesting about this is with this kind of deal, AMC might be willing to now sign a deal with Netflix. Hey, you know what? Now that they've done it for Universal, maybe they'll do it for Netflix. And maybe, Netflix movies will be they'll show Netflix movies for a couple of weeks and then people can go there. I don't know. This is very, very historic. And I don't know exactly what's going to happen. I think I mean, unless there's an exclusive on AMC's part for their digital service platform, this honestly sounds like a deal loser. I wouldn't expect this to last forever. I don't think they're going to make this deal with all the studios. And in fact, if it isn't true that the movies will be exclusive to the AMC On Demand, I could see other movie theaters trying to sue for a monopoly. So we're going to have, this is probably going to be discussed a lot. But I am very, very, very fascinated to see where we go with this one. Anyway, I would like to know what you think this AMC deal means. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. Do you think this is bad for them or good? I just do not know. And flame responsibly. Have a good one.